So I want to share a system with you today on how to control your putts from long range. So when I say long range, I mean from say here to that blue flag. It's roughly 30 to 35 feet. And you can use this system for any length putt, whether it's inside 10 feet or outside 30 feet. Now this system has been called a couple of different things. Number one, eyes up putting, heads up putting, looking at the hole. Now what I've done since I was a kid is I've looked at the hole when I'm judging the distance of my putts. So think about this. As a human being, if I was to throw a ball to you, let's say you were the camera that I'm recording this video on, and you said, throw me the ball. Where would I look? Would I look at my ball? Would I look at my arm, my hand? Would I be worried about how far back I took my arm? Would I be worried about how fast I'm swinging my arm to throw the ball? No. I would be looking at you, the camera, and I would literally just throw the ball. Now, I didn't really think technically how I'm going to do that. And what I see from a lot of golfers on the putting green, especially with long putts, is they worry about too many things. Players will stand on the putting green and they'll have this long putt, and the majority of their thought process or the majority of their putt is them looking down at the ground. And when I look down at the ground, what I'm going to start worrying about is I'm going to start worrying about whether my stroke is straight back, whether my club's closing, whether my club's opening, whether I'm rocking my shoulders or whatever it might be. When in fact, what you should be looking at is your target. You should be zoning in on the target that you're trying to putt to. In this case, it's the blue flag. Now, everybody saw Cameron Smith at the Open Championship and what his routine was. He took this long look at the hole, and then the moment he went back to the golf ball, he went. And I don't see enough golfers doing this. So here's how I would practice. Don't worry about contact. Don't worry about whether it's going too far or too short. I want you to take a few golf balls onto your putting green, stand there with a 30-foot putt, and I want you to look at the hole and hit your putt. Now, I can promise you, swear on my heart, this is my first putt of the day on this green. I have no idea about the speed, so I'm gonna give this a go. I'm seeing with my eyes how far this flag is away. So I'm going to stand here, no practice swing. I'm going to set up first. So obviously set up to where I feel I need to have my putter. I do see a bit of right to left, but I'm not too worried about that right now. And then I'm going to look at the hole and hit my putt. So I'm looking at the hole, I'm going to hit my putt. Now this is all in real time, my first putt of the day. And there you have it. I'm about a foot away from the hole, as you can see. Now I'm going to do that again. I'm not going to cut anything out of this video here. I'm just going to do that again. So I'm going to set up, going to make sure I'm comfortable, look at the hole and go. That one's a little bit shorter maybe. Yep. So I just felt that it was just a fraction shorter. So I had a really good sensation of what that ball was going to do. And you can see that that's like 2 feet away, okay? Now, I would advise that you go around your putting green and you do this with different length putts to different holes, different, uphill, downhill, etc. Now you might be thinking, should you do this during an actual putt? Now, I'm not going to say don't do it, but you can definitely try. As you can see, if I can do that, it can obviously work in tournament conditions. In fact, I've actually done it on an occasion when I'm playing out on the golf course, and I've actually just looked at the hole on like a 50-footer. Why? Because I think sometimes we get too bogged down in what's happening down here and we get a little bit short with the backswing. And that's why I think looking at the hole is a really good idea. However, what I've done since I was a wee kid is I've actually incorporated this feeling into my practice swing. So let me show you how that works. So what I would do when I read a green is obviously I read the green, I get my golf ball, I put my line on it and I do all of that stuff. But when it comes to actually practicing speed control is I will get behind the golf ball here all right? And I would do all my routine. And when I come into the ball, here's how, this is literally how I would putt. So I get over the golf ball, and this is how I do my practice swings. Exactly how you just saw. I look at the hole and I take a few swings. Okay, I'll do another one. And then for me, that feeling is when I just go straight into the golf ball, I try and replicate that feel exactly. I need to read the green a bit better. But you can see there that that's exactly the same length as the other ones. Now let me explain what I don't want to see. I see a lot of players that are doing practice swings with no real idea what they're doing, and it kind of looks like this, right? And you might be that type of golfer, but if you're doing this, I'd advise you not to. But I see players stand here and do this. Okay, they're looking down at the ground the entire time, and all they're doing is swinging their putter. Okay, this is not replicating anything that you're actually doing on the putting green. If you watch how I do my routine there, I take a practice swing, and then I actually stopped and I reset. And the reason being is if you do this drill enough times, get over the golf ball, look at the hole, hit the putt. If you do that drill enough times, what you're actually going to start to feel is you're going to have a really good idea of almost, when you're doing the practice swings, you're almost feeling as if you're hitting a ball. So that's why when I'm in here, I'm going to change my green read here. I set up and I look at the hole and I'm imagining that I'm actually hitting that golf ball for real right now. And I say to myself, that was too hard, right? I can feel it. So that's why I do another one. Okay, that was not quite very good. I kind of hit behind the ball. But you get the gist of what I'm doing, right? That was perfect. So now once I've got that perfect one, I go straight into the golf ball and I replicate it. Got the read right this time, I just didn't hit it, okay? But every single putt that I've had has been within at least 2 feet, okay? So obviously I would need to quickly adapt and just make a bigger backswing. But you can see that every putting practice swing that I've just done there is purpose to it, okay? I'm not just standing there and looking at the ground, worrying about where my club's moving or what's happening. I'm really trying to imagine myself hitting a ball to that target. So my advice would be to jump around the putting green that you've got at your club and hit some putts just looking at the hole. Do it from 10 foot, 20 foot, 30 foot, 40 foot. Do it from 15 foot. Do it from 7 foot. And get a really good idea on how to actually get that speed dialed in. It's a great way to do it. And again, remember, be a human being, be an athlete. If I wanted to throw this ball at the camera, I don't have to worry about technically how to do it. I'm looking at my target and I'm going to actively throw it at my target based on what I'm seeing. I've got my golf cart over there. If I wanted to throw it, I could actually hit the golf cart. So there you have it. There's a simple way of trying to judge distance control. Call it what you want. Eyes up putting, looking at the hole, heads up putting, whatever you want to call it. All you're trying to do is judge distance control on the putting green that much better.